Who doesn't like to be right? I like to be right. In fact, I like calling something. It goes the way I called it. And then I have that I told you so thought process in my head. Am I the only one? Do you not like to be right? Well, listen, I'm Jeremy Rickard. I'm the broker of Excellecore Real Estate right here in sunny Central Florida. And I have to tell you that I don't always get it right. In fact, there was a time back in 2005 where I purchased a home. And I purchased that home because I was scared that I would never be able to purchase a home. But I purchased a home when I shouldn't have purchased a home, under terms that I shouldn't have purchased the home under. And I got it wrong. I don't want that to happen to anybody else. And so I want to be your guide today through some thought, just a thought process. Let's just take a deep breath and just think for a minute. How should we move forward under the current market conditions? Yes, the interest rates are high comparatively to what we've been used to. And yes, the prices are about as high as they've been in a very long time. In fact, I think the average price of a home in 2022 is now $540,000. That's pretty high, especially considering back in 1965, the price was $21,000 for a home on average. I went back and, sometimes trying to be right, I went back and I was looking through some old data just to see, is there anything that's really consistent? Is there any way we can predict these things? Because if I'm honest, Bloomberg can't predict it, the Wall Street Journal can't predict it, I can't predict it, but we can look at past history and look at what was transpiring when the market went up or down or backwards or forwards or high interest rates, low prices, high prices, and see if there's any kind of consistencies. What I found was interesting. From 1965 until 2022, if you take it in 10-year periods, say from 1965 to 1975, the prices in those bookends went up. If you look at the absolute worst time during that period, which was roughly 2005 to 2015, the worst time for housing prices, the housing market busting. In fact, that mistake that I told you about earlier, I lost my house during that time. You know what it's like to go through a foreclosure when you're the real estate guy? Man, that's humbling. But during that time, even during that 10-year period, 2005 to 2015, over the long haul, prices still went up by 21%. So what are you waiting for? What is it, the metric that you're waiting on to have happen? Is it surely just an ability thing? The rates are too high, mixed with the prices being too high. How am I ever going to get into a house? Well, I want to help to alleviate that fear. One of the first things I would encourage you to do is figure out what you can actually afford. What is about a quarter of your gross income per month, and put that into a monthly payment. Then what would that monthly payment actually get you? Now, you may have to take that champagne taste down just a little bit, but that doesn't mean you can't buy a home. And there's a trade-off. Maybe you think that you just should rent for the time because you're under the impression that prices are going to go down. They might. There's a lot of metrics that push and pull against those kind of prices. So I have to say, being authentic is that prices could go down. But if we look back over history, there's not very many metrics that we see right now with just a lack of inventory and still a lot of buyers that would encourage those prices to go anywhere but up. And in fact, interest rates came down last week for the second week in a row. And if those interest rates come down enough for certain individuals that have been waiting to get back in, and we have a flood back into the market, prices have nowhere to go but up. So the sooner you get into the market, the better it's going to be. But I don't want you to get into the market out of fear. I want you to have as much knowledge as possible. In fact, if I'd had knowledge that I have now back then in 2005, I wouldn't have bought the house that I bought. And I wouldn't have had to go through nearly a decade of trying to rebuild financial security. Now, I don't want you to go through that same fear. But what is it that's preventing you? What's keeping you from moving forward? Is it because you just don't know what you can afford? Is it because it's scary? Is it because you don't know what the first step is? I want to guide you. That's all I want to do. I'm not looking to sell you on anything. I'm looking to be a guide. And so what I do is I look back at the data and I say, what do you want to accomplish? And can you accomplish that under the current scenario? Do we need to look for a smaller house? Or maybe you can afford a whole lot more than you think you can. And again, when we look over that period of time from 1965 until 2022, we went from a price of $21,000 to a current price of $540,000. There's a lot of folks that even if they just stuck out the market will eventually have paid off their home. From 1965, those folks at least paid it off by 1995 on a 30-year mortgage. You know what's interesting is they didn't even allow 30-year mortgages until I think 1948 on new constructions, and 1954 on existing homes. It was always a 15-year mortgage. Now, why would they do that? As the prices grow, longer mortgages make payments more affordable. As prices grow, lower interest rates make payments more affordable. So what's going to happen? I don't know. I know what the metrics tell me, and I think that the prices are going to go up over our next year. There's still way too many buyers and not enough homes to buy. So I want to encourage you, as soon as you can, at least just figure out what you can afford. Just know what you have the ability to do. Because I guarantee you, if you pay the average rent in New Tampa right now, which is $2,760, you will have paid over $31,000 to somebody else getting way richer. And that money you will never see again. So let's build generational wealth. Let's help you get into that home, but let's help you do it going forward in a way where you understand the decision that you're actually making, and it's a wise decision based on the knowledge that you have. So that even if things go haywire in the market, if we look at any 10-year given period, prices still went up. It was still a good investment to buy a home. So when you get ready, reach out at excellecorerealestate.com. Message us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. We would love to walk you through that process to help you get your next home, get your investment home, buy your first home. We love handing keys to people for the very first time. So we want to help you do that, but we want to help you do that with zero fear, giving you as much education as possible so that you can make the best possible decision no matter what the market is. My name is Jeremy Rickard. I'm the broker of Excellecore Real Estate in sunny Central Florida. It's been a pleasure being with you.